How do I know if I'm called into ministry? It's a question a lot of young people ask themselves, especially if they're in church or maybe were raised in a Christian home. I know for me, it wasn't necessarily a question I wrestled with, funny enough, until I was in college in my third year as a pre-med student at Wheaton College. Began to feel that helping children through medicine was maybe not the lane that God had called me into. Ultimately, I was headed in the right direction because I knew I wanted to help children. I'd always known that, but it was to be through ministry and not medicine. But when I say ministry, I think what I really mean is vocational ministry, because I was helping children, involved in the lives of children who needed help long before I was getting paid for it. And I think that's one of the keys, because really every Christian is called to ministry, not just pastors. In fact, pastors are just called to equip Christians to be in ministry, according to Ephesians 4. So every one of us as a Christian is called to minister to other people, to spread the gospel. That's part of what it means to live as a Christian. The question then really is, do you feel like God is calling you into vocational ministry as a career? In other words, to give up any professional aspirations you might have, or to forego any notions you might have had of making a lot of money one day, or following your dream, or anything like that. And I think one of the questions that Christian parents and Christians themselves need to be asking is the exact opposite of what Christian young people are so often asked, and what I was asked when I was always growing up is, what would you like to do? What do you love? What do you, if you do what you love, you'll never have to work a day in your life. And I just have to say, I totally disagree with those things, and I think it's the exact opposite. I think what we need to be asking ourselves, and what Christian young people like you need to be asking yourselves, is, what is it that you hate? What can't you stand about this world? What makes you lose sleep at night? What drives you crazy about this world? What makes you shed tears when you see that it even exists in our world? And that's, to me, a much better clue to what you were created for, what you're called to. And maybe that call is full-time ministry. Maybe the plight of the lost is something that keeps you up at night, that drives you to your knees in prayer. That may be a clue that you're called into ministry, because it's something that you feel like you just have to make a difference with. I know that was the case with me. I couldn't live with the fact that there are children all over the world that don't know the hope of the gospel, have never heard the name of Jesus, who have never had a hug or been loved or been part of a family. It's something I hate. It's something that keeps me up at night. And it's something that told me that I was called into full-time vocational ministry. Maybe you are too, but those are just some questions to consider.